He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is not another shooting show. We go to India, where police have filed a case against a man who accidentally shot himself while cleaning his revolver.
His gun?
Yep, cleaning his gun.
Yes.
The case was filed under the relevant sections of the Arms Act, which is really strong in India. They're only allowed to own revolvers. They can't have semi-autos. The injured person, Sandeep Malik, was a resident of Sector 12. Would you want to live in a place called Sector 12? I don't think I would. That sounds terrible. That sounds like a dystopian movie.
I've been to India. It's a dystopian country.
Okay. He sustained a head injury and was admitted to a civil hospital in Sector 6. According to the police, Sandeep Malik was cleaning the revolver on November 25th when it accidentally discharged. That happens when you're cleaning guns. How many times have you shot yourself while cleaning a gun, Jeff?
So far, 0.
That's because you don't clean guns. Yes.
Correct.
That's how I don't do it either. Don't clean your guns. You won't accidentally shoot yourself. That's how this works. Well, we have an exciting show. Exciting news to tell you all about that happened officially on Wednesday. This is Friday when this comes out, but many of you have probably heard by now. We have a special guest on the episode tonight also to help us talk about this because he's going to be doing more work on it than I am. Area 3, we have it lined up. It's done. It's a thing that's happening. There's still lots of details to work out, but we have a date, we have a location, and the Area 3 match is happening. Bruce Schmidt, who will be my co-match director for the Area 3 Championship. Welcome to, well, you've been on my other podcast, but welcome to this one.
Yeah. Hi, guys, and hi, Patreon members and freeloaders.
Well, yeah, the freeloaders get this part too. Yep. You're a longtime Patreon, first-time guest.
Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah. So we're going to have a little match out there at the South Dakota Shooting Sports Complex. Now, I've heard that it's going to be a pretty cool place to have a match.
Dude, it doesn't get much better. Like it's the entire range is huge. It's massive. It's built into the natural topography. It's a pretty bitchin' place.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very cool. Can we talk about the? I think we can. Can we talk about the meetings that had to happen before we got her okay? Because I don't know, but this might be the first time it ever happened.
Certainly.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know how many times the governor of a state had to be consulted before someone could schedule a match, but Governor Kristi Noem was consulted before they gave us the okay to schedule Area 3 next year. And I was like, really? That's kind of cool. I like that happened. The reason being, this is kind of one of her pet projects, and they're trying to piggyback the grand opening, and they were very, very nice. John Canta is the guy with Game Fish and Parks that's been doing most of the legwork to make things happen, and I was kind of up his butt like, hey, we need to know by the middle of December if we can have it there or not, and so he talked to all the people, including the contractor and apparently the governor, and now we're having a match. The dates of the match, Bruce, what are they?
Dates of the match. It's going to be starting Thursday, September 25th, and ending September 28th.
In Rapid City, South Dakota. It's in a cool place. Black Hills is a cool place to go, hang out, have fun. Lots of touristy things to do on top of the match, so it's going to be cool. So what are we doing, Bruce? How is this happening?
Right now, we're planning on, 13 stops.
Mm-hmm.
Stages are to be decided. We're going to request a bunch of help from everybody in the area for submitting stage designs and whatnot. We're looking at doing everybody shooting half-day formats. So right now the plan is staff will shoot Thursday afternoon, Friday morning. Competitor, like shift 1 will shoot Friday afternoon and Saturday morning, and shift 2 is Saturday afternoon and Sunday morning.
And that schedule was your idea. I had not heard of that. What was the match that had that schedule? Gave you that idea?
We've shot that way over in Billings at Area 2 before, or Area 1. And
that's right.
It's worked out really, really well. It gives everybody equal footing. Staff isn't stuck having to shoot an entire match in whatever the weather conditions are in one day. It's just seems easier on everybody.
Yeah. The goal, because we are aware that it's going to be a 10 or 11 hour drive for folks, our goal is to have everybody off the range not later than 1 p.m. On that Sunday. So it was certainly a thing Bruce and I were talking about, like, hey, Rapid is not centrally located. Now, wait a minute, Bruce, you live in Rapid City, right?
Yes, sir.
How far did you drive to Area 3 when it was in Grand Island?
Oh, Area 3 is a solid 8-hour drive from Rapid.
8-hour drive from Rapid City. Okay. So, it's a poke. But
right. Area 3 is 8 hours. Forest Lake stuff is 9. Like, yeah, we're used to driving.
Yeah. It's a thing that happens. Not everything can be, super close, but there's a lot of states in Area 3. So,
We do have an airport.
And there is an airport, yes. And it's like, what, half hour from the range?
Yeah, about a half an hour.
That'll work. What else do we need to tell people? Oh, I can say this because I was scrambling to get the video done and posted before the deadline I gave him to tell anyone. We already have our range master. I called up Scott Arnberg, and after about an 8-minute conversation, he got clearance on his calendar and permission from his wife, and he will be the range master for Area 3. So that's very, very cool. We got our range master. We have nothing else done yet. And when we said we would like, if you want to submit a stage, you're listening to this and you're like, hey, I design stages. I'd like to submit a stage for the area match. By all means, we'll figure out a mechanism to do that. There's certain people I'm definitely going to reach out to, like Tanfo Timmy's getting a message on Instagram for a stage for sure. There's other people that I know do a great job with stages in the area. I want flavor from all of the states and all of the sections for the match because it is the area match. So I'm excited to do that, incorporate all that stuff. I've tried to do it with Great Plains, but nobody ever gives me stages unless I directly go, hey, give me stage. And they're like, okay. And then they do it. But Jeff, do you have any questions for us? Interview us. Ask us about Area 3 on the spot.
Right, so Area 3 is going to be the end of September. Up in North Dakota.
No, it's not in North Dakota.
Oh, sorry.
It's in South Dakota. It's a big difference, dude.
Yes, big difference. Big difference. What should the weather people what weather should people expect? Because Area 3 is known for being hot as balls. What's the normal up there?
A little bit of a roll of the dice. We can probably accommodate you if you want hot as balls. This September we had 5 random days throughout the month that were in the 90s. We had generally 60s, 70s is pretty typical for September though.
That sounds like a wonderful little area match.
I think the odds of it being hotter than 80, I think, are pretty slim. Pretty slim. I think the daytime highs are most likely to be in the 60s or 70s. It might be a little cool in the morning, but
okay. So, and prop wise, are we going back to old school Area 3 type? Like, what kind of props does this new range have?
Well, how many do you have at your club, Bruce?
Props are going to be currently dependent on stage designs and what is submitted. Design it, and we will probably accommodate it.
As far as, is there going to be swingers on every stage? No, they don't have that many and won't be able to buy that many. That's not a thing that's going to happen. But I plan on coming out with a truckload of stuff for a stage. Like my pickup's going to have, the back end's going to have movers in it and steel, whatever supplemental stuff you guys need. A lot of matches do that when it's a bigger match, and especially one that doesn't have all the stuff that they need. But
and I'm sure we can get some other clubs to. I can fill up shit for my club probably, and
and
help with this.
Yeah. So But I mean, you guys are gonna be building and buying a lot of stuff, I would imagine.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of the other local-ish clubs that are more than willing to loan us whatever we need. So props are the least of the concerns.
Yeah. No, it was.
Okay.
It's funny. That was like the first question Scott asked me. He's like, "How they doing on props?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, they're going to be building a lot of walls, and they're going to need a lot more target stands, and that's all stuff that they've already been thinking about. Like this has been some. How long have we been talking about this, Bruce? Well, really, only talking about it seriously since the whole Area 3 debacle about a year ago.
Yeah, there's kind of been talks and a little bit here and there ever since they announced the range project and finalized on how many bays and everything.
Yeah,
like the wheels were kind of slowly set in motion then.
Yeah, it's there's a whole lot to do between now and then. I'm pretty excited for it. So we don't really know much else. So there you go. Area 3 is going to be there. Oh, there's more people complaining about how far away it is. That's so funny.
Food wise, what are there good eating and drinking establishments to?
Oh yeah,
to
there's
carouse?
a great place to drink whiskey downtown Rapid City called the Windsor Block.
Yes, sir.
Bruce took me there once. What's the pizza joint called we ate at?
Independent Ale House.
Yeah,
the beer bar.
Yeah,
right beside it.
The Firehouse Brewery is a solid spot. There's oh wait, no, Spearfish has got like shitloads of breweries, right?
Spearfish has some. Spearfish has 3, I think. Rapid's got tons and tons.
Oh, okay.
And almost
will there be
infinite food trucks.
Yeah.
Ooh, could those food trucks come to the range and be like our lunch option?
Maybe.
Well, and that's the thing too. Since everybody's doing a split schedule, we're not planning on providing lunch.
Okay,
but
good to know.
We're planning on trying to get some food trucks out there, and
could we plan a Area 3 bar crawl for those degenerates like me who don't actually care about our shooting ability or shoot better after drinking? Because I wish to get inebriated with Brucey and then try to go shoot a match.
We gotta work. I don't know how. I don't know if I'm going to be on the Jeff plan when it comes to this.
I want hungover ROs.
That's why we're co-match directors, so one of us can still have fun. It's like having a designated driver.
Yeah,
I will trade off. One night I'll get drunk with Andy. One night I'll get drunk with Bruce. We'll just go back and forth.
Yeah, odds are it'd be both because I'm staying at Bruce's house. So, yeah,
someone's got to drive us home.
Yeah, we got to get there somehow. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions for us, Jeff?
I mean, I would love to hear Brucey's whole story about how he got into USPSA, but for Area 3 specifically, I can't think of any. I'm trying to remember my schedule what September 25th would run into, but I can't think of anything. So,
yeah, I can't.
I'm supposed to ask.
I don't care. Whatever.
Okay.
No, that's fine. You can ask Brucey about his long and illustrious USPSA career now. Then. Yeah.
So Brucey, how did you get started in this wonderfully awful sport?
Oh, dude. So in high school and hanging out, me and my brother and a bunch of friends of ours, Bob included, we were big into paintball. We weren't big into sports and stuff, but we did the paintball thing, competitive. We traveled all over the region. We did World Cup down in Florida a bunch of times. There used to be a big statewide paintball tournament series and stuff like that we were big into, and we did that for quite a while. And then out of we all graduated high school, and all of a sudden, some of the guys on the team found girls and started having kids and stuff like that. So being a big team sport, things fell apart pretty quick. So we were sort of looking for something else to do. And there was my parents used to be big into, it was IPSC at the time back in the 80s in Connecticut. And so they had guns and stuff, but we never really got into it out here. Since we moved to South Dakota, there wasn't any real big clubs or anything. So So they just always had the stuff in their basement. My dad had a 550 set up all the time. I don't think he ever loaded around since we moved out to South Dakota in the early 90s. And so we were looking for something to do. And they used to hold a Father's Day bowling pin shoot over in Pierre, South Dakota. It was a fundraiser thing for the Fraternal Order of Police or something like that. So it was just one random time, like we had just randomly heard about it, and we're like, "Oh, hey, let's go do that." Like, how tough can that be? So me and Bob and my brother all committed to it, and we're like, "Well, we'll go try it out." And my parents were actually out of town at my cousin's wedding in Minnesota, and so my parents lived out of town, so they had a table. Like, for some reason, we found some random bowling pins, so we're like in my parents' backyard with random guns that we have no idea really what we're doing. And like, we got this wooden table set up and some bowling pins. We're like, oh, well, how hard can this be? And like, it turns out all three of us sucked really bad at it. And like, by the end, we were starting to figure it out a little bit on our own with zero instruction or help from anybody. Just a bunch of kids in our early 20s. So we showed up to Pierre and we shot, and we had a good time. We were absolutely terrible at it, and came back to Rapid, and we're like, oh, well, we want to do this more. I like shooting guns. So we found the local club, Prairie Thunder Gun Club. They were based out of Spearfish. We still are. And they held just all sorts of random matches. Like, they would do bowling pin shoots. They would do steel challenge. They would do quote unquote run and guns. They would do mouse gun matches. Like, you name it, they would do it.
Mouse gun. What's a mouse gun match?
22.
Oh.
22. So, like, yeah, they were all weird things. Like, it was fun, though. Like, zero structure behind pretty much any of it. Like, their bowling pin shoots were always the big thing. And everybody in the club, like, all the really good shooters, shot revolvers. So, of course, that's what we decided to get into because, well, we want to beat the best people there. So we really got into revolvers, shot the bowling pin matches. Like, they would be huge out here. They'd have like 40, 50 people shooting these bowling pin matches. And
oh, wow.
Like, it was a full all day ordeal. So we'd shoot the bowling pin matches. We did this, did that, got into revolvers. Some of the guys were like, hey, we shoot this thing called ICOR down in Colorado every year. Like, it's the big ICOR Rocky Mountain regional match. Like, hey, like, a whole bunch of us are going down. You should come with. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. So we went down there and did that a few times. And then we did and about that time, Sioux Falls held the Great Plains section match way back in the day.
Yeah, that was back in like the 90s, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I've got a trophy somewhere from it for shooting a revolver. It was kind of it turns out there was not a lot of people shooting a revolver back then. Our club was a bit of an anomaly. So yeah, we kind of got into it a little bit there. One of the guys in the club started an ICOR club in Spearfish, and then he got burnt out after a couple of years. So me and Bob were like, oh, we still like shooting matches and stuff. Like, let's do this. So we took it over from him, and like the revolver thing was dwindling quick. We're like, well, let's shoot USPSA. We like USPSA too. And people with revolvers can shoot that. Cool. So yeah, we changed the club over to USPSA quite a while ago, almost 10 years ago, I suppose. Maybe a little more. And kind of got huge into USPSA and been shooting that since.
Interesting.
Well,
so
that was a lot.
Yeah. Long story.
And so, have you done any paintball since you started shooting USPSA?
Yes, a couple of my buddies got me back into it a year or two ago. So I've been doing it a little bit, playing a little bit with those guys. We traveled around, we played a couple tournaments down in Colorado. We played a few down in Kansas this year too. But that's probably going to take more of a backseat starting next year with all the new range stuff and club things going on. Yeah.
So going from paintball to USPS, to real pistol shooting versus USPSA to paintballing, which one do you think helped the other one more?
Ooh. Let's see. They're fairly equal. Like, your eye speed gets really good with USPSA. Like, you start understanding how all that stuff works.
Yep.
So that's really good. Like, movement and moving super hyper aggressively is better with paintball, since there's punishments involved if you aren't.
Yep.
So like a little bit of both, I suppose.
Okay. So
okay, paintball. Did you do airsoft too?
Never did airsoft.
Oh, okay. I did it once. It was kind of terrible.
It honestly seems that way.
It could have been really fun, but the guys that were all doing it had about the same maturity level as my 10-year-old son who was there with me, or who I took there to do it. So maybe it's not that way everywhere.
Random airsofter.
But it was, yeah. It was fine. It was fine. I had enough after about an hour.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, the local paintball field out here will do airsoft every now and then, and it's it always seems like quite the crowd that comes out. One of the fields down in Denver that we play at, they've had airsofters on a different field at the same time we were playing, and yeah, that's quite the group.
Yeah,
it's the military LARPers.
They're ultimate LARPers. Yeah, I mean they're wearing plate carriers.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's weird, you know. I mean it's better than getting hit like in the bare skin, I guess, but at the same time,
it's a little BB not going that fast.
Yeah.
Not that big of a deal.
Yep. Okay.
So I had one more question.
Oh, yeah.
Is Brucey, you're kind of one of the most traveled people in USPSA that I know, because you guys have to travel. Like, I've shot with you in 4 states now, 4 or 5 states. So
yeah,
with all the matches you shoot, like, what would you say like makes a good USPSA match?
Before we hear what Bruce says, we're going to have to tell you to join the Patreon, patreon.com/notanothershootingshow, just $3.57 a month, and you'll get to hear that and some. Actually, we shot our whole wad on the Area 3 thing, so never mind. I was gonna save back some stuff, but never mind.
The podcast has peaked.
Yeah, it peaked. No, we've got a whole show left to do, and we're gonna do that. If you're a Patreon, you're about to hear it. If you're not, patreon.com/notanothershootingshow, $3.57 a month. You get an extra episode every single week.